Welcome back. All right, so 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League. 3 games on board number 1, 2 games on board number 2. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to talk about Toronto at home against Minnesota. So it's Gustafsson versus Wall. The teams trade early turnovers. Trennan has a net drive chance that's defended. The shots are 2-1 Toronto at 4.5 minutes, but Minnesota opens the scoring at 7:07. Huznadinov on a nice pass from behind the net. He scores from Lauko and Shore. So it's 1-0 Minnesota, and their fourth line has put them up. Trennan then has a net drive chance that's saved. The Leafs press at 9.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. There's more Leafs pressure with 8 minutes left. We then get a power play from Minnesota, and they score on it at 15:35. Spurgeon scores from Zuccarello and Eriksson, although Matthews accidentally tipped this one 5-hole. So it was Matthews' goal, but Spurgeon gets the goal because you can't get credited for a goal when it's in your own net. Lauko nearly adds another, but yeah, it's 2-0 for Minnesota after one. Second period, the teams trade rush chances. The Wild press at 2 minutes. Shots are 3-2 Toronto at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. Hartman then has a rush chance out of the box. That's saved. The fans call one. The referee does not. The Leafs press at 9.5 minutes, but the Wild block, keep them to the outside. The Wild then press themselves with 9 minutes left. Then there's a post for Nylander on a breakaway. Lots of breakaways for Nylander over the last few weeks here. There's a near miss for Minton and close. Lorentz has a net drive chance that's held. Matthews has a net feed that's picked off. It stays 2-1 Minnesota after 2. Third period, early jump for the Leafs. McMahon has a rush chance that's defended. The Leafs press at 3.5 minutes. Shots are 2-1 for Toronto at 4.5 minutes, so not a lot getting to the net. The teams trade turnovers. The Wild press at 7 minutes. There's a near miss for Matthew Boldy. And then at 8:16, Nylander buries a net feed. Holmberg and Domi with the assists. That cuts the lead for Minnesota down to 2-1. The Leafs then look to tie it. McMahon has a backhand and close. That's held. Shots are 9-4 Toronto with 6.5 minutes left. The Leafs press with 5.5 minutes left. The fans call one. The referee does not. After the goalie pull, Boldy tries to hit the empty net, and that attempt is blocked. But then at 19:45, Marcus Foligno hits the empty net. Freddie Gaudreau with the assist. Minnesota with a win in Toronto. They go to 30-17-4 with the 3-1 win. Toronto drops to 30-19-2 on the season. Shots on net, 8 apiece in the first, 12-11 Minnesota in the second, 14-5 Toronto in the third. Final shots 33-25 for Toronto. Power plays, Minnesota scores on their only one. Toronto did not score on the only power play they had. The hits 23-12 for Toronto. Gustafsson 32 saves on 33 shots, and Woll 22 saves on 24 shots. All right, second game of the night is LA in Florida. You'll notice here that there's a new magnet, and I will explain that for anybody who didn't see the magnet when I used it the other night. Kemper versus Bobrovsky. Kempe has a slot shot that saved. The Panthers press at 4.5 minutes, and eventually they open the scoring at 4:55. Bennett buries one in close. Tkachuk and Kulikov with the assists. The Kings press at 6 minutes. The shots are 5-3 Florida at 6.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. One shot on net. The Panthers then get a power play. That's killed off as well. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And then with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, the Kings get a power play. That does not last. A shorthanded rush by the Panthers causes the Kings to take a penalty, and we have a minute and a second of 4-on-4. Kulikov then has a slapper that saved. It's 1-0 Florida after the first. Second period, 51 seconds left in the power play for the Panthers. The Kings do finish the kill there. Mikkola has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 2 apiece at 4 minutes. Kopitar has a net drive chance that's blocked. Spence fires one wide as the Kings are getting a little pressure. Edmondson has a shot that's held. Some good pressure again by the Kings there. The Panthers press at the half. Pretty strong team defense by Florida. So anytime LA is coming through, there's 5 Florida Panthers back. Although it was the same the other way too. So not a lot of room out there despite the shots being pretty high in this. I don't know how many of those are high danger in close chances. The Panthers press with 2.5 minutes left, and there was some momentum for Florida at the end of that period, but it stays 1-0 after 2. Third period, Spence has a one-timer that's held. LaFerriere has a sharp angle shot that's saved. We get a power play for the Panthers. That becomes a 4-on-3, and they are 5-on-3, and they score during the 5-on-3. Barkov buries a rebound in close. Tkachuk and Reinhart with the assists at 4:43 makes it 2-0 in favor of Florida. The Kings kill off the 5-on-4, but the shots are 5-2 for the Panthers at 7 minutes. Kings press at 9.5 minutes. Jeannot has a net feed that's held. The fans call one. The referee does not. Neither team had room with the puck late in that third period. It was very suffocating, the defense out there. Verhaeghe's denied, Kemper holds. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. And at 18:48, Tkachuk hits the empty net. Lusterinen and Ekblad with the assists. The final score in this one, 3-0. So the Tony the Tiger Magnet's on the board because it's a shutout. And this one, I will go ahead and bring this over to the camera. This is a chess magnet. I have a lot of chess magnets. I'm going to say right now about 20 different ones. So when that's on the board, that means there were 3 goals or less in the game. It is officially a chess match. That was something they said about the Dallas-Carolina game last week, and it just stuck with me. And I'm like, why don't I just make those chess matches officially on the board? So with the win, Florida goes to 30-19-3. They're now 1 point ahead of Toronto. They're atop the division again. The LA Kings 26-16-6 with the loss. Shots on net 20-8 for Florida in the first, 10-9 LA in the second, 12-10 LA in the third. Final shots are 39-30 for the Florida Panthers. Power plays 0 for 2 for LA, 1 for 4 for Florida. The hits 23-18 for Florida. Darcy Kemper had a good night, 36 saves on 38 shots, just no goal support. Bobrovsky saved all 30 shots for the shutout. One of the best games Bobrovsky's played this season, and a sign that maybe his play's been picking up. All right, last one on this board is Philadelphia and New Jersey. So it's Ersson versus Allen. Couturier can't bury one in close. The refs verify that the Flyers didn't score during a bit of a melee at the net. Basically, I think it was a wraparound, and they wanted to see if it crossed the line. It was pretty obvious it didn't, but you want to make sure, right? Forster has a wrister that's held, so pushing. Shots are 3-0 Philly at 3 minutes. The Devils then press at 5.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. Shots are really at a premium in that first period. And even though it doesn't show by the end of the game, yeah, there was some good defense on both sides. Not an easy path to the net for either team. So the Flyers press with 7.5 minutes left. In fact, the shots are 7-2 for Philly with 6.5 minutes left. Forrester goes a little bit beast mode. That chance ends up being held. I believe he gloved the puck, though, and that was the argument that was on that play, that he gloved the puck. But hey, if it's not counted, if they don't see it, close his hand on the puck. Anyways, the Devils press with 2 minutes left with 33.2 seconds left. The Devils get a power play. So there's no score after one. The power play for the Devils rolls over into the second period, and they score on it. At 54 seconds, Palat buries one in close. Jack Hughes and Bratt with the assists, making it 1-0 New Jersey. Dylan has a hit on Tippett. That leads to an exit. And I've seen a lot of debate about whether or not that could have or should have been a penalty. It wasn't a penalty on the play. Tippett never touched the puck. The puck was in the vicinity, and I'm saying it like that because, if that's the argument for the officials, I don't know, but it was a pretty brutal hit. It sent Tippett down the exit to the locker room, right? He had to just head down the hallway, and that caused the game to kind of turn into a punch fest at that stage. So the emotions rise a lot. The Flyers end up drawing a power play. That becomes a 4-on-4. Michkov has a chance that's blocked, and then we get 14 seconds of a 4-on-3 for the Flyers. Everything gets killed off there, and then at 6:27, Luke Hughes on a rush scores unassisted. And it's an end-to-end rush, so that makes it 2-0. We then get a power play for the Flyers. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1. Jack Hughes is denied there. That power play's killed off. And then out of the box, Tatar ends up being denied by the Flyers. Richard has a rush chance that's saved. We get a power play for New Jersey, and they score on it. Nate Bastian jams one in close. He scores this one from Meyer and Luke Hughes at 12:41. So Luke Hughes with a goal and an assist. And then at 13:43, on a cross-ice pass, Mercer buries one. Meyer and Pesci with the assists. It's 4-0 New Jersey, and that ends the night for Sam Ersson. So he gets named to Four Nations, and he gets pulled out of the net. So Vodotov goes in instead. The Flyers press with 3 minutes left. The Devils press in the final minute. It's 4-0 New Jersey after 2. Third period, early press by the Devils. At 1:58, on a 2-on-1 rush, the Devils score. Jack Hughes from Bratt and Pesci, and it's a cross-crease pass, and it's in the net. So nicely played. Makes it 5-0. Nason has a slot shot that's blocked. The shots are 4-3 for the Flyers with 9.5 minutes left. The Flyers press with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. The Devils press in the final minute just to make sure that the shutout stays on the board. And the Dalek Magnet's on the board because it's a 5-0 shutout. So that's an extermination. The Tony the Tiger Magnet doesn't work. It's an extermination if it's 5 or more goals. For New Jersey, they're now 29-18-6 with the win. Philadelphia drops to 23, 23, and 6 with the loss. Shots on net, 10-7 Philly in the first, 13-6 New Jersey in the second, 8-6 Philadelphia in the third. Final shots, 26-24 for the Devils. Power plays, Philadelphia 0 for 4, New Jersey 2 for 3. The hits, 22-11 for New Jersey. Ersson saved 12 out of 16. Fedotov saved 9 out of 10 in relief. And Jake Allen, shutout, 24 saves for that shutout. Let's go ahead and go to board number 2. All right, Nashville at home against the Vancouver Canucks. The rematch from round 1 last year in the playoffs, and neither of these teams above the playoff line entering tonight. So Demko versus Saros. Glove save on a rush by DeBrusk early on. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. 3 shots on net. Canucks press after it's done. The shots are 6-3 for Vancouver at 5.5 minutes. We get a press by Nashville at 6.5 minutes. But then on a rush at 7 minutes and 11 seconds, Höglander puts one past a screen from the slot. Hughes and Pettersson with the assist, so it's 1-0 in favor of Vancouver. Heinen's denied and close, and then at 8:41, Novak scores for Nashville. LaRue and Barron with the assists. The teams then trade rushes. Shots are 11-8 for Vancouver with 6.5 minutes left. We get a post for Steven Stamkos. The Canucks clear. Forsberg's denied, and Demko holds. And I'm just going to say, this is the best game Demko has played since returning from injury. So it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, early press by the Canucks, and they would score. At 1:28, Linus Karlsson tips one in close. Myers and Hughes with the assist. That is the first goal and point in the career of Linus Karlsson. He's done a lot of work down here in Abbotsford. I'm very glad to see him have some success at the NHL level. It's nice to see. Canucks then look for another, but the shots are 2-1 Nashville at 4.5 minutes. Soucy gets shaken up. He exits for repairs. I believe he took a high stick. He would come back into the game, but it did mean the Canucks were down to 5 defensemen for a while there. Canucks press at 9.5 minutes. Marchessault to Stamkos. That play gets picked off. Josi has a tip shot. That's held. Nashville draws a power play. That's killed off. And then Stamkos, I should say, is denied on a rush. Or Stamkos. We can change the way his name's pronounced. That's not weird. So it's 2-1 for Vancouver after 2. Third period, early press by Nashville. In fact, Nashville controlled large swaths of that third period. O'Reilly has a wraparound that saved. Hronek got hurt along the boards. He'd stay in the game, but initially on that play, I thought, is it his shoulder? And obviously, Canuck fans would be kind of concerned immediately if Hronek looks like he's hurt. Canucks end up taking a penalty. They just could not get it. I think Miller was hurt on a shot block, and then the other defenseman that was out on the ice was dinged up. Forbert was dinged up too. So there were 3 Canucks that were not 100%. They had to take a penalty. It's one of those times where I don't get mad about it. So then there's a post for Willsby. That power play ends up being killed off. Then there's a post for Willsby. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by McCarron. He did not agree with that. The fans didn't agree with it, but it did happen, which is fine for Nashville because they had the best chances during the Canucks power play. There's a shorthanded near miss for Nyquist on a fast break, and then Josi had a shorthanded chance. That's held, and that power play's killed off mercifully to the Vancouver Canucks. There's a press by Nashville at 9 minutes. Nashville was building some momentum. Then there's too many Canucks on the ice. The Preds get a power play, and there was a lot of Canucks on the ice. Just going to say, it was a lot. You can't send the line onto the ice before the other line's left. That's too many. So that power play ends up being killed off. Nashville presses after. Shots are 10-2 for Nashville with 5.5 minutes left. Hughes then fires one wide from the slot. There's a press by Nashville with 2 minutes left. They'd pull the goalie with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. But then with 35.5 seconds left, the Canucks get a power play. So Nashville clears it. They get the goalie out again to make it 5-on-5. And so Suter, the rare power play empty net goal at 19 minutes and 40 seconds, makes the final score in this one 3-1. It is Saturday again, boys and girls. Vancouver has won. They are 23-17-10 with the win. Nashville 18-24-7 with the loss. Every day should be Saturday for the Canucks. Every day. Just keep telling them it's Saturday night. I thought it was Saturday night a couple nights ago. Nope. It's Saturday night now. Go out there and play. Shots on net, 13 apiece in the first, 8-3 Nashville in the second, 11-6 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 32-22 for Nashville. Power plays, Vancouver 1 for 3, Nashville 0 for 3. The hits, 24-19 Nashville. Demko, 31 saves on 32 shots. Saros, 19 saves on 21 shots. This is the kind of stat line I've been waiting for from Demko. It's nice to see. He was sound in his positioning. He had good rebound control. He looked like Demko. So for the Canucks, things are going all right now. They're 1 point ahead of Calgary. Calgary does have that game in hand, of course, but yeah, things look all right now. All right, last game to talk about now is Pittsburgh in Utah. And all the games were low scoring tonight, which is fine. Easier for me to track and everything. Nedeljkovic versus Ingram in this one. Penguins have a 2-on-1 that's broken up. Kerfoot has a rush chance that's saved. We had a fight between Imama and O'Brien. So that was kind of out of nowhere, but yeah, makes sense. Shots are 3-1 Pittsburgh at 4 minutes. Good puck pressure by the Penguins every time that Utah had it. Teams trade rushes. A lot of one and done, though. Not a lot of sustained pressure at that point in the game. Penguins press with 8.5 minutes left. Stenlund has a turnover chance. That's held. Then we get a power play for Utah, and they score on it. Sergachev, who returned from injury tonight, scores from Schmaltz and Cooley at 14:51. He just roofs that one glove side to make it 1-0 for Utah. Utah presses with 2.5 minutes left. Keller has a turnover chance. That's blocked. It is 1-0 Utah after one. Second period. Things get pushy and a hold by Ingram. Carlson has a net drive chance that's held. The Penguins press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for Pittsburgh. That's killed off. And then at 6:40, Pettersson, it's a point shot that deflects in, makes it a 1-1 tie. Crosby and Grzelcyk with the assists. Penguins then press for the lead. The shots are 11-1 Pittsburgh at 8 minutes. So not a great start to the period for Utah. However, at 8:36, on a breakaway, Carcone buries his own rebound. Marino and Bukestad with the assist. Utah has the lead back, now at 2-1. Carlson has a screenshot that's held. Keller has a net drive chance that's blocked. It stays 2-1 for Utah after 2. Third period, Keller's denied from the slot. Shots are 2-0 for Utah at 4 minutes. Krause has a slot shot that's tipped wide. Good forechecking by Utah. Carlson fires one wide on his own entry, and then during that same shift, Utah hands the puck back to him. You don't do that. Carlson goes short side at 6:17 to get the game tied for Pittsburgh at 2. Fans call one, the referee does not. The Penguins press with 8.5 minutes left, but the shots are 5-3 Utah with 6 minutes left. Utah presses with 3 minutes left. Penguins press in the final minute. We're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Penguins controlled early. Utah takes it. They set up. Things get pushed on a hold by Nedeljkovic. The teams trade turnovers. Bit of a sloppy overtime, but a fun one. And then at 3:54, Crosby goes backhand on a net drive to win it for Pittsburgh. Glass and Raquel with the assist. I tell you, this Sidney Crosby kid, he's going to be good. The final score, 3-2 in overtime for Pittsburgh. They go to 21, 24, and 8. And if you watch the TNT feed, they talked a lot about how Pittsburgh's going to get back in the running and back in the hunt. They can do this. And I'm thinking, but they were 3-7 coming into this one in their last 10, and they'd lost 3 in a row. So, including games against the Sharks and the Ducks. But anyways, they win tonight. Utah drops to 21, 21, and 8 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 12-4 Utah in the first, 15-7 Pittsburgh in the second, 9 apiece in the third. Both teams had one shot in the overtime. Pittsburgh, the shot that matters. Final shots are 29 apiece. Power plays, Pittsburgh 0-1. Utah scored on the only power play they had. The hits, 35-23 Pittsburgh. Nedeljkovic, 27 saves on 29 shots. Ingram, 26 saves on 29 shots. So it was close, but Pittsburgh ekes out the victory in Utah. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.